Welcome to another episode of MTMJ Fit Podcast. I am your motivator and your personal trainer. All right, today we got a guest. iamdonnapodcast. You can follow Donna at iamdonnapodcast podcast on Instagram. iamdonna podcast.com. Listen to her content. She's amazing. How do I speak it? Protect your vibes type of female, and I was so excited to get her on the podcast. So, okay, look, here's the vibe. We got her in here. Hey,
what's up?
What's up with you?
Nothing much. I'm chilling.
You look like you had a long day.
Not really. You know, it's rainy outside. I'm just relaxing.
Okay, thank you for tapping into my podcast. I know I screwed up yesterday. Lately, I haven't really been paying attention to days. I just go with the flow. So let's kick this episode off, right? First, I want to thank you for joining my podcast, right? You know, and like I was saying before you jumped on, I just was giving out your info, your handle, so everybody can know where they can come listen to your content. I've been vibing to your content, especially when I'm at work in a hostile situation, because your low vibrations keep everything, connected. So I can appreciate that. So look, let's just start. How have you been? What's going on?
Good. I've been good. Working, trying to do the podcast. Is it do you hear echo? Is it good?
No, you good.
Okay. Yeah, working, take care of the family, podcast, maintaining, just trying to stay elevated, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you can't wait to get your husband home.
Yeah, I'm ready for him to come home.
Yeah, I miss my boy too. So look, we I think both podcasts we talk about the importance of protecting our peace, right?
Right.
When you feel like your peace is being attacked, what's your like exit strategy? What's your vibrations? How do you deal with it? How do you manage those situations to avoid those situations? And in so many words, deal with it in a moment.
Well, again, I'm not perfect, but for the most part, I try to just be very aware of what's going on and aware that it's not something within me and it's not something within the other person. It's just they're unconscious of what they're doing at that time. So I try to be extremely aware, take a moment and just kind of like observe the situation and observe my emotion and my response before I even say anything. Because oftentimes we respond based on people's, how they say things. It's not really how they say anything. So for the most part, I observe and I understand that everybody, goes through things. And so I just try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, most people say, the light in me recognizes the light in you. So that's pretty much how I try to handle things most of the time. But now, sometimes in one of those days where I might be stressed out more than others, I might not handle it the best. And so, if I don't, I take accountability for that and come back and revisit the situation. But yeah, that's how it works.
That sounds so positive. So two weekends ago, right, I had a situation. That's why I posed that question, right? Because I had a situation where my peace wasn't protected. I had been going through a lot that day, dealing with my grandmother, and my mind just wasn't in the space. And I forgot how old I was, and I got into a fight, right? Physical. And you want to hear? Funny story, right? This is the same place that your husband broke his hand at.
Oh.
So, for a circle, I could have used his vibrations that day. But nah, normally, right, I think I do a great job internally taking in so much negativity when it comes to those uncomfortable situations. And the only reason I can say that is because mentally I'm prepared for that. I've been married for what, 8 years. I've been with my wife since I was 17. So I done went through all the motions that comes with like adversity, taking on like tasks and dealing with like whether to respond or ignore, if that makes sense. So now that leads me into like relationships, right? How how is that? Like, how do you feel about marriage, right?
Mm. Overall marriage, let's see, how do I feel about marriage? I have a lot of thoughts about marriage. Of course, it's a commitment, right? It's a lifelong commitment. And I was married before, so I know I put myself in that situation based on the wrong reasons. I went into that relationship with the wrong intentions, and and I got out of that situation, which was the best for me and my family. And now, I definitely view it differently. I view it as it's a commitment. You got to find that person that you're willing to just spend life with or do life with. And no matter what it is, you got to choose that person over and over and over. And you also have to give them the benefit of the doubt over and over and over. With your life partner, you really have to understand that they have your best interest at hand at all times. Because when we start feeling like, oh, I don't know, why would they do that? Sometimes we like make up these stories in our head. We make up these stories in our head about how our partner is treating us or what they're doing based on something that they said. But, I feel ultimately if we chose, then we should trust that whatever they saying or doing, it's not to harm or hurt us. It might necessarily just be, maybe they having a bad day. So honestly, we got to give each other the benefit of the doubt at all times, and we got to continue to forgive over and over and over, and see that, hey, in any circumstance, we all can do certain things, right? Any circumstance, under the right circumstances, everybody is capable of the same thing. Every single person. I mean, you put that mixture together: stress, depression, anxiety, all of these things. And so when you with your partner, you definitely got to give them that for sure. So I know it's hard, it's easier said than done oftentimes, but you just got to find that person to do life with, for real.
Yeah, because I think this generation now makes um being able to kind of jump from relationship to relationship the new norm, if that makes sense. Like, folks don't value and respect each other. I just was talking about it on an episode about like women respecting themselves before they expect someone else to do it. And then that also goes like for me and my relationship with my wife, like it's it's never easy. Like my pastor said, it's literally hard work and dedication, right? But like you gotta find, like for me, it's the small moments, right? Moments that don't come with no cost or nothing, that when it puts a smile on her face, that just makes my day. I could be having the worst day in the world because internally, the man, we internally go through much more than a woman. Like we kind of try to navigate. I tell my wife is like, I'm never going to put her in a situation where I'm not like protecting her space. Like if I get a vibe that I just think this space is not acceptable to her, I'm just going to avoid it. So I was listening to an episode, recently, and you were talking about spirituality versus, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Spirituality, trends, spirituality, and sexuality.
Yeah. So when it comes to who, how do I say this? What is your faith level? Like your belief?
My faith level. So I consider myself a spiritual. I consider myself a spiritual person over anything else. I find that religion over the years has been tainted. But I feel like almost all religions point to the same thing. They point to the same form of enlightenment. People might say heaven or whatever you want to say. Of course, when I grew up, I grew up in a Christian household. Like I said before, my mother's a minister, so I grew up in a Christian household, and so I do hold some of those. I would say not stories, but all of those ideas about with Christ, Jesus. I hold those thoughts. Now, when it comes to Jesus, I believe he was a teacher, and a lot of people will say, in Jesus' name, they'll worship Jesus. But I definitely believe he was a teacher to show us, these things that we have within us. Now, I'm not saying that we're God. I'm saying that we are all a part, and we all have those powers. You know how, as when I say powers, I mean that strength within us to go each and every day, and to show us that we are of the light, and we are the same. A lot of people, and let me answer your question directly. I am a spiritual person. I do not say that I am a Christian. I don't say that I'm anything. I am a spiritual person, and I believe in God. That's what I would say.
Okay.
But can go on a tangent about my thoughts and beliefs when it comes around Christianity, when it comes around about a lot of religions, for sure.
Okay. So I was listening to another episode, right? And you was talking about taking care of yourself, right? You know, your lifestyle, like living and eating and breathing and taking in all the good stuff you need to be able to survive and live this life, the right way. So what's your fitness level? Like, what do you do to stay active? Like, keep your mind, your mental fitness, right? Your physical fitness, and then of course your daily fitness. Like, what's your go-tos?
Oh, so daily fitness, I mean, it's on and off. I used to be very, very in shape. I used to be doing bodybuilding every 4 to 5 times a week, running every single day, 3 miles a day. Now it's more like 3 times a week I'm running, or I might try to do some yoga as far as physical wise. Mental wise, I'm praying and I'm meditating every morning. I get up and, I write out whatever's on my heart, and I show gratitude, because at the end and I see the difference when I don't do those things, because honestly, we can get so caught up in the do, we got to do this, we got to do that, and what is going on in the future, instead of just spending time in the present moment. Like, it's all about being in this moment and feeling everything in this moment, because I mean, all we have is this moment.
You killed that.
Anything else?
You killed that. I feel the same way. Like, my go-tos is what I try not to do is getting on my phone and going through emails and checking this or seeing who called. I try to not make that the first thing I do in the morning. The first thing I do is get up, thank God for just giving me a new day, and then I jump into whatever the word is in the Bible, and I kind of dig into it, do my prayer, and then I go along with my day. But like you said, when that doesn't happen, that fight type stuff happen. Those are the days where just like sometimes stress and anxiety take over, right? So, I had so much on my mind. See, I'm a freestyler. I don't like writing things down because it doesn't come out genuine, right? Hi, baby. Okay. So look, first I want to again thank you for joining my podcast, right? So you've been vibing, you've been married for about to be a year now almost, right?
Right.
And what what changed once you became my boy's wife?
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed?
I don't think
You
anything
sure?
should change. I feel as though you should be the same person. I feel like everybody should be the same. Like, what would be the point of any changing? I mean, if you're married, you're committed. I mean, you can ask him. You can ask him.
I know my wife changed.
We have the type of relationship that we are free to be ourselves wholly.
Yeah.
We say whatever we want to say to each other.
Yeah.
We talk about every single thing, and that's what we said we wanted to do before we got married, and that's how we still are.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Anything that I did before we was married, I still do now.
Yeah.
And I might do it more. You know what I'm saying? I might put more. But nothing has changed as far as our relationship. The only thing has changed, a piece of paper that we committed on this piece of paper that we are going to be, married or whatever in the eyes of the law. But as far as our relationship, I would say that it's gotten better. It's gotten better as far as because we've had to go through certain things since we've been married. Him leaving, being deployed, it's definitely gotten better as far as communication-wise because we have to learn how to communicate in a different way. It's gotten better because, we got to learn how to, show each other love and affection in a different type of way. Yeah. So, and then all we do is communicate. And also, I feel like going through COVID really helped us as well. I mean, and I realized how much I enjoy this company. He got on my nerves a few times, and I know I got on his. But overall, the COVID experience definitely, showed us how much we appreciate each other. And nothing. I can't say that nothing has changed. It might have, maybe things have gotten better as far as improvement with communication.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I think that was one of the things. Like when I'm frustrated, right? And it may not necessarily have anything to do with her. I internally used to just let it sit, right? And then I started you have those, once you let that anger internally sit, you start blaming your partner for things that necessarily don't got nothing to do with them. And because you didn't communicate, right? Things get blown out of proportion. It took me a while to learn that because I think, to be honest with you, I can handle everything. Don't matter where the punch is gonna come. I'm just gonna take it regardless, and I deal with the repercussions afterward. So at the end of each episode, right, what I like to do is, I spit some type of motivation, whatever comes to my mind, right? So today, I'm gonna get at you. So just motivate the people, man. Give them some vibes to really help them, vibe out.
Vibe out. Let's see. Well, I always go with affirmations.
Yes. What's today's affirmation?
Today's affirmation, one of the affirmations is, I'll say, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life, every moment of your life, because, again, like I said before, we always get caught up in the moment. We always get caught up in the future. We always get caught up in what we need to do. And when you sit back and, think about what you're doing right now, I'm talking to you right now, I'm enjoying this podcast. I mean, if I was worried about everything else, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy your life and do what you want to do. Don't worry about nobody else, for real. Be the best you can be all the time. Of course you're going to fall short sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? Whatever makes you feel good, don't worry about anyone else, because we always get caught up in other people's feelings and how somebody else going to view us. And so I would say just be the best you, enjoy your life. When they say I'm living my best life, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Do something different. Something different that you normally wouldn't do that you've always wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's something my therapist was telling me. Like I said, I can take the punches in every situation, but one thing she told me was, they gonna be okay, but if you ain't okay, they ain't gonna be okay. So also make sure you taking care of you. Right. living your purpose, right? That's the biggest thing, man. Living in your purpose. So look, I want to thank you for joining this episode. I appreciate you. Look, again, I'm so sorry that I missed the day. Charge it to my head, not to my heart.
It's no worries. That was the other day.
New day. I still, like I said, man, when I mess up, I'm very apologetic. So I want to make sure people understand it's never on purpose. All right. Appreciate you, okay? So I gotta get on your podcast so I can get my somber voice. So I can bring my voice down a little bit. Yeah.
You right now, so I want that same energy.
All right. Thank you, okay? All right. Yes. So that was an amazing episode, y'all, man. Look. Make sure you rate and review the podcast wherever you can rate and review. Make sure you go and subscribe on YouTube. I am your motivator and your personal trainer. Make sure you go over to the podcast merch store. Get you some merch. Really support the podcast. Support I Am Donna Podcast. You can go over to her Instagram at iamdonnapodcast. If you want to rate and review her content, follow her on YouTube at I Am Donna Podcast. Support the podcast. Support the creators. I am your motivator again and your personal trainer. I'm out. Peace.